are now looking at a 2022 Hyundai i30N in performance blue. And in these little videos, we tend to go a bit off topic. For instance, we wouldn't blame you for assuming that this 280 horsepower hot hatch will backfire on command, shatter your spine on bumpy roads, and slay GTIs while torque wrestling you into the nearest hedge. The reason for all these assumptions is simple. Just look at it. It's bright powder blue, adorned with wings and fins and slats and louvers, barely clears the ground on invisible alloys with wafer-thin tires, shows 2 chrome oven pipes to pursuing traffic, and probably has one of those naughty Kelvin urinating on a VW badge stickers in the owner's manual pouch. Some interior observations we made were ridiculously blue drive mode buttons on the otherwise pleasant steering wheel, tons of options in the neat media screen, a brilliant climate control system, loads of storage nooks and charging ports, various parking aids, as well as multi-stage heating on the chunky yet surprisingly spongy front seats. So, what about the inevitably solid ride of this rapid racer? Well, although the engine starts with somewhat rude noises, and the car reverse turns out of an elevated driveway with the delicacy of a wheelbarrow, the ride around town was much better than we expected. Of course, there is a slow-speed harshness to its damping, but left in its default drive mode, this i30N has a surprisingly smooth ride. Let's quantify that though. If your town is perfectly tarred, and the council repairs broken streetlights the very next day, this will be a fabulous addition to your fleet. However, if the roads around your place are in an ongoing state of decay, so you live in southern Africa, this car's suspension may be a bit of a problem. Another shattered expectation is the fact that this i30N, if driven nicely, can actually get close to the claimed 8.9 litres per 100 kilometers from the rather puny 50-litre tank. The cargo capacity is extremely generous though, at a minimum of 515 litres, which obviously extends to hilarious proportions if you flatten the rear seat backs. But that's all a bit irrelevant, isn't it? If you put this car into full lunatic N mode, you finally get what we were dreading all this time. A crude ride, those rude noises, suddenly nervous steering, and a bar fight attitude from the drivetrain. All our cynical expectations were unleashed by one press of the baby blue N button, and after having brawled with this psychopath for a while, we achieved a best 0 to 100 time of 6.22 seconds. Hyundai claims 5.4, and although that's quite a gap, at least this DCT model was easier to launch than the previous 6-speed manual effort. That car is causing quite a lot of strife on our YouTube channel because, no matter what we tried, we couldn't get it under 7 seconds. The Hyundai fanboys are understandably upset, yet the old model's traction issues and second gear shift point hampered all of our attempts. This 7-speed dual-clutch automated manual transmission isn't just easier to launch, it's probably easier to live with too. The manual i30N is a proper driver's car, especially since VW doesn't import any manual hot models anymore, but there's something to be said for a quick-shifting auto box of cogs in our daily grind. Yeah, so it has some parking speed lurches, but Hyundai must be credited for ironing out most untoward movements. If you're considering this vehicle, since its manual derivative has also sailed into the sunset, we strongly recommend that you test it in slow traffic. Right, what else toyed with our expectations? The sporty exhaust note, which is supposed to be selectable, but often crept into regular startups, only to disappear a few seconds later. That made us wonder, did Hyundai forget to program that part of the exhaust's behavior, or did they fail to contain its initial boom? Also, in an automotive world scrambling for maximum screen time, it's refreshing to find a good handful of physical buttons, plus these clear analog gauges with a progressive red line, disco shift lights, and a small but comprehensive information screen. We also enjoyed the heated steering wheel. Okay, to sum up, there's quite a bit of value going on here when you consider the car's firepower, gadgets, and warranty/service plan. But the $1 million question everyone asks is, of course, if it's better than a new Golf GTI. Well, considering that the VW failed to meet everyone's ergonomic expectations, we'd like to think that it is.